Good morning and welcome to another Fast Tracks webinar. This is a weekly event we do every Friday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we go over various topics of the Fast Track software. You can see these events if you go to our website, goftx.com, choose the FTx Lifeline tab at the top of the screen, scroll down about halfway down the page and choose the webinar button. Next, this page will give you a listing of all of our webinars that are upcoming and all the previous recorded webinars. Now, this page recently changed. So now you have the option to search for keywords such as taxing, and that would show webinars that show taxing. We also reorganize it to where the upcoming webinars are at the top of the page, and all the previous webinars, with the most recent being at the top, is ordered down this page to where you can see everything chronologically. Today, we're going to be looking at managing POS flags and taxes in retail. So to see these, we first need to get an idea of how items receive taxing and age verification. So to do that, I'm going to do a little notepad file here. And basically, you have an item, which is a UPC. That item is attached to a department. That department is going to be tied to a POS flag. That POS flag is going to be tied to a tax group. That tax group is going to hold tax rates. So your item is actually looking at several different things at the time of sale to get the proper taxing. To see this in the software, the item will be, of course, the individual UPC. We can see that this item is tied to a department here. If we go to the maintenance module and we look at the departments, we can see there's that department it was tied to. There is the POS flag that this department is tied to. If we go to the POS flags, we can see that this POS flag is tied to that tax group. And that tax group is going to be tied to tax rates, which we can see in the POS. So first, we're going to look at taxes. And there was, due to the recent software update here in June of 2019, there's an additional way to do taxes if you're in a corporate environment. Now, first we're going to look at the way that it's always been. This is done via the point of sale. So if I open up the point of sale and I log in with the user that has permission to view taxes, I'll choose the Actions button, I'll choose the Management button, and the Taxes button. This will give me a list of those tax groups. Now, if I go back to Director here, we can see there's the two tax groups that I have. Well, if I want to see what taxable contains tax rate-wise, then I can, in the POS here, I can choose Taxable and choose Edit, and I can see that it's applying these two tax rates, my state tax and my city tax, for a combined total of 10%. Now, if I need to change the tax rates themselves, I can back out of that. I can choose the Tax Rates button here. This allows you to have 4 total tax rates. You can change the tax rate here in this left text box, and then your description, the name of each tax rate, is over here to the right. Now, if I have, like, say, a grocery tax, I can just simply put in grocery here and say that that's a 3% tax rate. I can save that, and then let's say that grocery tax is the only thing applied to grocery items. I would then need to create a new tax group. I can just call this grocery and apply only that tax rate. Now it's not going to be applying tax rates 1 and 2, which is my city and state. So now we have a total of 3 tax groups here. My taxable, which is going to be applying my total of 10% my city and state. My non-taxable, which is applying the no tax, 0% tax rate, and then the grocery, which is applying tax rate 4, which is 3%. That's how you manage your taxes at store level via the POS. So let's go back here to Director, and let's say that we need to change one of those tax rates. Well, before, you would actually have to go to every single store and change that. Now there's a new setting in the far right over here called Store Taxes. And how this works is you simply choose the store you want to adjust. You'll then choose the Get Tax Rates. The system will reach out and it will grab those tax rates. Now let's say that I want to change this to 9%. I can simply update that to 9, and I can choose the Update checkbox. And then if I choose the Update Now Source Store, this would then update that store that I have selected here in the dropdown, the store that I'm actually pulling from. If I want to update multiple tax rates, say I want to have it that updated to 3, I can choose both checkboxes and choose Update Now Source Store. That would update both of those tax rates. Let's say that I want to update multiple stores. You can then choose the hyperlink down here for the store selected to receive changes and for reporting. Choose as many stores as you would need. Then choose the Update Selected Stores option. This would update all those stores that are checked. Let's say you want to schedule these updates out in the future. You can simply choose the Schedule Update Selected Stores, and it's going to schedule those stores that are selected down here for this date. So I can choose this out as far as I would need, and then at that time, the system, as soon as midnight strikes for that day, will update those stores for that new tax rate. So that's how the taxes work. Now let's look at the other side of changes with POS flags, the age verification. So this also recently changed. Before, it was done via just a flattened number. For example, if I look at my tax rate here, let's say it would, for all intents and purposes, it would have been manual. And you would have your POS flag, and you would have an age required, and you would input a number here. And at this point, whenever you ring an item up that's tied to a department, that's tied to this POS flag, it will then prompt for that age, that flat age. Well, what if you had a particular product, and at one store, it's requiring the age of 18, at another store, it's requiring the age of 19. That's occurring more often now, especially with all the e-cig changes. So we implemented a way to handle that. Instead of using the manual option, you now have these preset alcohol, e-cig, lottery, other, and tobacco. I would choose e-cig in this scenario, and notice the age required goes away. Well, how it gets that setting is now under the stores option here, you have the age requirements, and you can set these ages per store. So I can have an alcohol age at one store, tobacco, e-cig, lottery, or other, and have that different or the same for every store. To change it by mass, just use the mass change hyperlink here, and you can apply those ages by mass to stores that are selected in this grid. So then, if I have this POS flag tied to, let's say, tobacco, and I have tobacco at store 1 set to 18 and store 2 set to 19, then that same item rung up at both locations is going to require a different age. So that's how the drop-down works for POS flags on your age verification. Now there's also something that came out last year that we've seen occur in a couple states where there's a grandfathered age. And that is where if you're a certain age and you were born on a certain date or before that date, you can be that age to buy a certain product. If you're born after that date, then you have to be an older age. To handle that, if you choose the manual option on your POS flag, there's a grandfather rule. And this simply allows you to, for that grandfathered age, input the age there, and that magical date, if you're born before that magical date, you can purchase that item, you input that grandfathered age date. This way, if you ring up an item, it's going to basically check if they were, based on that birth date entered, if they were of age for the grandfathered age requirement or after. So that covers the POS flag age verification. Now something that not a lot of users seem to know about is the excise tax functionality. And this is something that's always been there. Let's say you have an excise tax and you want to apply that on an item. Well, an excise tax is going to be this percentage right here of the cost sold added to the transaction. So for example, I have a 10% excise tax set on this item, or that POS flag. If I look at an item, I can look at its cost, and I can say, well, if it's 10% of $8 in this case, then it's going to be 80 cents. Well, at the time of sale, whenever I ring this product up, what will happen is as soon as you scan that, it's going to add that excise tax basically as a line item right below the description, and there's the 80 cents. So that's how you can add in excise taxes to your products if needed. All right, so once again, how items receive their age verification and taxes, you can simply look at this here. You have your item, your UPC, that right there. That's going to be tied to your department right there. If we go to our departments, we can see that our departments are going to be tied to a POS flag. So we have our department. We have a POS flag here. Notice it's department's tied to a POS flag. We go to the POS flags. We can see our POS flags are going to be tied to a tax group. There's our tax group. So we choose a POS flag. There's our tax group. And then our tax groups are going to be tied to tax rates. And we can see those tax rates within the POS or by now pulling that from corporate. So I hope everybody learned something new today. Once again, these webinars, they occur every Friday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. You can see these at our website, goftx.com. Choose the FTX Lifeline tab. Scroll down about halfway down that page and choose the webinar button. And this will show you a list of all the previous webinars, upcoming webinars, and allow you to sign up for the newsletter to be reminded of webinars. If you have any suggestions on future webinar topics, let us know at info@goftx.com. And if you have any questions about previous topics that we've gone over, let us know at websupport@fasttrackspos.com. Once again, thank you, and I hope you have a great weekend.